Oscar De La Hoya, ex-promoter of Canelo. Hey, get the payday. You want payday? I know that. Ex-promoter of Canelo Alvarez, De La Hoya, says David Benavidez would beat Canelo Alvarez, and he explains why. Bad news for all the Chupapi Muñeños, the Canelo fan. What up, Fight World? It's your boy, you on the back with the backs. Let's get it. Okay, stop playing with me. Oscar De La Hoya just did an interview where he was asked David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. Who do you pick? He did not hesitate. He says he would pick David Benavidez to defeat Canelo in a good fight. So he did give credit, say he thinks it'll be a good fight, but David Benavidez would basically be too much. Now, this interview is floating on the internet. Fight Hub did it. Fight Hub TV. You can check them out. And that was his honest opinion and assessment. I'm just going to paraphrase in my video. He says David Benavidez likes to fight tall. He says that Canelo will always struggle if you have a good jab and you use it. And the funny thing is, the interviewer sounded almost like in disbelief that someone would pick against Canelo Alvarez, especially maybe Canelo's old promoter in Oscar De La Hoya. He was like, "Oh, wow, really? You would think that?" And he was like, "Yeah, anybody with a good jab that exercises and utilizes their jab is basically going to give Canelo problems." Now, some would just say, Oscar De La Hoya, he's hating on Canelo Alvarez and this and that and the third. But why can't this just be his opinion? He has no ties to Canelo Alvarez, so of course he's not going to necessarily sugarcoat it. He's not like promoting a person. Like if someone's under your banner, you're probably not going to hear the promoter down talking that particular person. But that's not the case for him, so he has really no reason to lie and refrain from giving his thoughts on Canelo Alvarez. That's how I look at it. So I think Oscar De La Hoya is just giving his opinion since he has no reason to quote unquote defend Canelo Alvarez. I think he really believes what he's saying. That's my honest opinion. Now, the legend of Ego Stradamus is growing immensely. The Ego Stradamus, everybody knows these are the predictions, these are the things, my thoughts, my statements, what I put on wax. See, a lot of people, they'll wait till something happens, and then after that something happens, they'll claim to have known about it. But that's not what I do. I told you before the Bivol fight happened, before Bivol beat Canelo, that I thought it was the end of an era, end of the Canelo me era and all this type of stuff. And with Oscar saying this, to me is now suggesting that, because when Canelo was on his, let's say his best run, you would be hard pressed to find anyone outside of myself publicly that would pick against Canelo in these circumstances. But Canelo's vulnerabilities have been on full display. People see it, and that's the reality of it. And I think people start to see some of the desire, some of the passion, some of the vulnerabilities and flaws that Canelo's really always had, but they've been on full display, and people are losing faith that Canelo will be able to get it done. If you ask a lot of people, they would say Bivol beats Canelo if it's a fair fight where there's not too many stipulations and stuff. Bivol will beat Canelo again. If he fights better Biev, same thing. But even where Canelo is undisputed at 168, guys like David Benavidez, David Morrell, these are all Demetrius Andrade, who called out Canelo. You know, these are all super dangerous fights for Canelo. So I think it's going to be bad, because at the end of the day, Canelo, he's going to do what he's always been doing recently, which is fight a good name. And then in between that fight, a bunch of people that no one really wants to see him fight and pick around the true competition, or he's going to be forced to fight against the bigger names. Like, for example, if David Benavidez emphatically beats Caleb Plant, which is a great fight that I'm looking forward to, if he's able to get beyond and get past that task, then Canelo can no longer run from this idea of fighting Benavidez. That would be a certified big fight, blockbuster fight that people would pay to see. And what is Canelo going to say? Oh, you haven't fought no one, which is what he said to try to front on Benavidez in the past. Those things will fall on deaf ears, because Canelo became undisputed by beating Caleb Plant. And after that fight, Caleb Plant went on to knock out Anthony Durrell, has a new trainer. So he built his confidence back in that fight. So it's still a great fight. He only has one loss. So you can't tell me that Caleb Plant was only good when Canelo fought him, but Benavidez, if he's able to beat Caleb Plant, it's not a significant win. So even if Caleb Plant wins, then that's another, people are going to demand a rematch to that. David Morrell fights, because Caleb Plant will have then worked himself back up the ladder. So the way I see it is, it's just overall looking bad for Canelo, because it just looks like people are losing faith that Canelo can get it done and pull the trigger with some of these fights. Oscar didn't mince his words. He didn't sound like he was on the fence. He sounded 100% sure. The other thing why this is important is because Oscar has spent time with Canelo. Of course, he was his promoter. So maybe he's seen something in the sparring, or maybe he's always seen these things that Canelo showed as vulnerabilities, which I do believe. And now he's just expressing that. So he might have some knowledge firsthand of checking in on Canelo's gym and seeing he always struggles with certain people. And I've said the same thing. Like, you look at Canelo, he gets all these black fighters and puts them in camp with him, but then he rarely fights these level of black fighters as a pro fight. For example, he'll have Ronald Ellis and Rashidi Ellis in his camp. He'll have Curtis Stevens in his camp, and different, just various people in his camp. And then when it comes to prime black fighters like Jamal Charlo, guys like Demetrius Andrade, he could have fought him in at least 3 divisions now, 154, 160, 168, and he still ain't fought those same people, but you'll keep them in your camp as sparring partners, right? Then there's styles like David Benavidez and Beterbiev and David Morrell. He won't give these guys a chance, and his fans say, oh, these guys aren't worthy. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. But then he'll have no problem fighting John Ryder. He'll have no problem fighting Avni Yildirim. The jig is up. Let me know how Igor Stradamus did in this video, and I'm up.
Introducing Super Thanks, right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.